Baseball's back today, boys and girls. We have ourselves a second half of a season, because it's not really the second half. I think they played more than half of the games already. But second half of the season, there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to baseball. Before we get into the Titans a little bit, baseball is back. The Yankees are back. The Mets are back tomorrow, I say. I think there's like a lot of I think this was built into the schedule this way for teams to kind of catch up if they missed any games, because the Yankees all of a sudden have a doubleheader going on today against the Houston Astros.
Well, it was either a rainout situation or it's just like one of those the strike things that are.
That's what I'm saying. They had these built in,
but I think they did have a rainout with the Astros.
Is this in New York? I don't even know, because there can't be a rainout in Houston. There's a retractable dome.
Why? Can I ask you a question? Why do they only get like a day off from the All-Star break?
What are you talking about? Every non-All-Star got a week off.
No, they had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But if you were an All-Star, you only got really a day off. Really.
How hard were you playing in the All-Star
game? It
game?
doesn't matter, though. Those guys are taking that as vacations, though. You know what I'm saying? You go.
It's in Houston. All right. So how the fuck did they have a rain out in Houston? This has to be a makeup from the strike stuff. But anyway.
Some teams, 4-day All-Star break. Other teams, 3-day rest and open the second half with a doubleheader.
That sucks. It sucks for teams like the Yankees and the Astros. But anyway, second half of the season, we're going to have some division winners. We're going to have some wild cards. We're going to have some Cy Young winners. We're going to have a World Series winner. Right now, the Yankees are going into the second half of the season 64-28. Their projected record, according to what I've read, is 109-53. They would have to go 52-18 the second half of the season to break the record at 116. I don't know if that's a thing.
That's not going to happen.
That's not a thing. I don't think it's a thing, because
I hope it doesn't become a thing, because then it'll take over the second half of the season, and we just don't need it. It doesn't matter. It has zero.
It's like
bearing.
one more topic that you don't need to talk about. Like, will they beat the record? Who gives a shit? Get to the playoffs. They have 1,000% or 100% chance to make the postseason, and their division title is also 100%.
100%.
Yes, 100. Like one.
So they clinched.
Basically, that's what this thing is saying. And they have 30. They're at 30% chance of winning the World Series this year. As far as our crosstown friends over there in Flushings, the Mets are 58-35. They're projected to finish 98-64. Their division winning percentage over the Braves right now is 67%. So it's up there. It's more than half.
I find that crazy.
I'm just saying. And they only have an 8% chance, according to what I read today on ESPN, which, by the way, shout out to their stat team, who just forgot about Judge and Stanton, for that matter. Their championship odds, or at least their percentage to win the championship, is 8%. So now going in, I guess the stories to really pay attention to, besides the Yankees just kind of running the way with the East, are the Mets, because they're going to more than likely get deGrom back in the next coming weeks, you would assume. Scherzer's back to his normal self, just striking out pretty much everybody. So their pitching is going to get a click up. Gooch, do you think this team is built to win the NL East without it being dramatic at the end with the Braves?
No.
How stickly do you think the Braves are going to be?
I think the Mets are really good, and they're built to win the NL East 100%. They're going to be there in the end as well, but the Braves are. The Braves are good. They're not going to lay down for anybody. They dealt with a crazy injury with Albies going down and being out for the season, but they managed to just not really miss a beat. They're loaded. Their lineup is really good, and they're in the mix as well as the Mets and as well as a lot of other teams in the Juan Soto situation. And they're potentially in the mix to acquire somebody else if need be. So the Braves are players down the stretch. The Mets are not going to run away with anything, I don't think. The Braves are typically a good second-half team, and the Mets typically aren't.
As of right now, VegasInsider.com, which kind of gives everything, like puts it all in a vacuum. Does that work? No. Doesn't work here? No. It puts it all in a vacuum. That's how I'm going to use it. Right now, the best odds, the best plus money you can get for the Yankees to win the World Series are plus 400. And that's...
That article's got to be old.
This article was done... I don't know when it was done, but it was. It's a website. It's just like a website that has updated odds.
I have the.
But
I'm on the book right now, right?
Well, BetMGM has them at plus 325.
Yeah.
I wasn't done yet. I said DraftKings has them at plus 400. There's different books with different odds. That's what I was going to say. The best odds you can get is Caesars right now, Sportsbook, and DraftKings at plus 400. The other ones, BetMGM, FanDuel has them plus 300. BetMGM has them plus 325. So clearly, there is some plus money to be won here if you really want to go bet on the Yankees. A little bit more of the other, you say you like their value picks, right? The Astros right now, the best plus money they have is on DraftKings at plus 500. Unfortunately for all you Mets fans, it seems across the board we're looking at plus 700 odds right now, and FanDuel has you at plus 800 to win the World Series.
To win the World Series.
Win the
not
World
just get
Series,
there.
yeah.
Win.
Not
So,
just
like,
get
What are the
there.
with me, I would look at that as that's
Red
not
Sox?
unfortunate at all. If I'm looking at my team as the best team, I'm hoping that look. If I'm a Mets fan, I clearly think they're a contender for the World Series
agree.
this year. The worse the odds are, the better it is for me because then that's a bigger payout. If you're going to bet on the Yankees or you're going to bet on the Mets, the value is definitely with the Mets.
The Dodgers, as I skip over my notes, came in the comments. The best odds you can get is plus money at Caesars, plus 400. Otherwise, it's plus 350, plus 375, plus 375. There's a couple other ones. Your Red Sox there, Rob. The best odds you can get, head on over to FanDuel. If you think the Red Sox can win the World Series, it's plus 5,000 right now for the Red Sox to win the World Series.
I mean, like,
take that flyer.
I feel like that's the best value on in the whole field.
I might take a flyer on that.
The National
Their
League
pitching is atrocious.
pennant, just to win the pennant and
back
get
end
to
of
the
the
World
lineup is
Series
bad.
for the Mets is plus 300, and there is plus 160 for the Dodgers. So a very 140 difference on the Mets and the Dodgers. The Yankees, the difference is only about 70. The Yankees is plus 130, and Houston is plus 200. So that's going to be a little closer than we want as Yankee fans. But yeah, so that's that. But plenty of other things to get into, like I said, with the baseball.
So yeah,
Go ahead.
division winners, I guess we could go through.
I got some of those too, but go ahead.
So you want to just do predictions and then go with the value?
Sure, yeah.
after
I
that?
wrote some down.
So we have the standings here, right?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So
we'll
I
go-
have for the AL, I have finishing as division winners the Yankees in the East, the Twins, and the Astros. That's how I feel like this is going to play out. The wild card, to me, this is what I want. It's not necessarily going to happen this way. Seattle's playing really well. Very good team. I want Baltimore in there, man. I don't know what it is. I just, for whatever reason, the Baltimore Orioles haven't been relevant since, I don't even know, Jeffrey Mayer. It's been a long time. So they're right now, they're 3.5 games out of that second wild card. So that's a very, very good possibility that they could be in the running at the very end of it. But yeah, their odds of winning you know what's crazy? The American League East odds, as I pull these up, the Yankees are minus, ready for this? Minus 10,000 right now to win the AL East. Jesus H. Christ. So basically, why don't you just put a little Y or X or whatever you want to do on the standing sheet and say we've got this shit locked. It's insane to me. I hate that. I'm one of those not pessimistic. What's the word I'm looking for?
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic.
You're a pessimist, but
About the Yankees just steamrolling through the rest of the league.
they did say in that last article that they have a 100% chance of making the postseason.
I know, which is absolutely nuts.
So what do you got in that? So go through 3 division winners and then your wild cards. You get
Yankees, Twins, Astros, Seattle, Baltimore. Baltimore stays hot rest of the way. Hot-ish.
How many playoff teams? 5?
6 this year. No. Oh, so wait. I missed one. I'm sorry. So, shit. Well, yeah, they added a fucking playoff team. Stupid. Let's
you
see.
got Baltimore going.
I mean, what the fuck?
There's only
Why
6
not?
teams right now in the major league.
All right, so Yankees, Astros. Give me the Yankees, Astros, the Twins, the Mariners, the Orioles. Let's go with the White Sox.
There you go.
You know, that's my 6. And to get out of the AL, again, you would think all signs point to the New York Yankees to win this whole goddamn thing. But again, I don't like thinking like that. I just don't. Don't name the dog until you bring him home.
I do. All right,
Okay.
so I feel like the White Sox are going to overtake Minnesota. They have the better roster. I'm not sold on Tony La Russa, though. That's my major.
Yeah, he might get drunk.
Major gripe. And I do like a lot of the Minnesota young hitters, and they have a good young pitching staff. But I just think the White Sox, they have what it takes. They have the star power over there. And they've been getting hot right before All-Star break, while Minnesota has been tailing off big time. So a little trend happening over in the Central. So I'll go with the White Sox taking out Minnesota. Obviously, we know that I think the Yankees are going to win that division. And then Houston's too good. Seattle's a really good team, and they've been playing as hot as you could possibly play. And they still are like 9 games behind Houston. So it's going to be a tall order. Astros will get hot again. Seattle will kind of balance out. But I do like Seattle to make it as one of the wild card teams. And then I think Tampa Bay is going to fall off. I'm a little more sold on Toronto. Boston's pitching is going to be tough down the stretch. They might be sellers at the deadline.
Go ahead.
I think my wild cards are going to be Toronto, Seattle, and Minnesota.
Okay. The only thing I say is that there is a strict advantage. If Toronto does get into the playoffs for whatever reason, they got that stupid thing up there because Canada just sucks. Everything about that country just blows right now. You can't, like, it just, yeah, I know. Oh, God, here come the Canadians. They're all going to march down to Chop Studios and beat me up. All I'm saying is this. The vaccination thing is a thing, and we've lost players via it. You know, as far as the Yankees and the Royals and all these other teams, you're going to find out who's vaccinated and who's not. And that's a stupid rule at this point.
Yeah,
very dumb.
It is what it is. That we're just going to have to, I guess, hope Toronto doesn't make it for more reason than that. But I think they haven't really hit their stride yet, and that lineup is too good.
Yeah, right. They still have a great lineup.
It's going to start cooking in the second half. Blah, 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 blah.
Moving on to the NL, it's pretty easy for me, cut and dry. I do have the Mets winning the NL East. I think that happens. They got to hold on. I mean, I think that's 2-game lead or 2.5-game lead. They got 2.5. So I think they will, especially getting their aces back, full strength, ready to rock and roll. Their lineup's too good. They got a lot of role players. I like them in the East. That's going to happen. The Dodgers, obviously, to win the West. And as much as I like, and I'll talk about one of their members of their team soon. But the Cardinals are very, very interesting to me. But I still think the Brewers take that division. But my wild cards are going to be the Cardinals, the Braves, and probably, I guess the Padres. Yeah, right. I don't know.
Since he's come back.
It's your. Are you?
Yeah, no,
I'm not making it for you.
I know. I'm just,
and Tatis should be back by the end of the week.
Right. So I think that they're going to be on. They're going to be on a little bit of a tear.
That might be a little optimistic, but they're saying he's also probably going to return as a part-time outfielder as well.
Florida Mike coming in again. He has a question. If Toronto makes the playoffs, MLB might make them playing games in Buffalo. You think that'll happen, or you think Toronto will fight that?
That gives everybody the fair advantage. Yes. That's
Everybody
the most
but Toronto.
that's the most American thing they can do.
Toronto's not going to be able to fight anything. If that's the case, if Major League Baseball decides that, it'll be very terrible for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it would be. That'd be bad.
Yeah, so much for the home field advantage. Anyway, yes, as Nick is just saying, please like the video if you're watching this right now. We still got the Titans to go as we're going into a very loaded episode. Now, Gooch, who is your NL division winners and wild card?
All right, so the internet on my computer just kicked, so I'm going to do this on the fly because the standings went away. All right, I know the Dodgers are a lock. The Brewers, I feel like they're going to be in a race, but obviously I'm going to go with the Brew Crew. I really do like the Cardinals a lot, and I think that could change if they do end up landing Acuna Jr. I think that's possible, highly possible.
You see that happening?
Has there been rumors about that? Articles. The Mets right now. Not Acuna. Soto.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on. What am I doing here?
Apologies.
Okay.
So yeah, they're definitely players in the Soto situation. If they land him, then they're vaulted up to almost contention with the Dodgers. But I'm going to go with the Dodgers, the Brewers. The tough one, man. Like, I don't want to go against the Mets just because I feel like I'm going to get thrashed for it, but I just believe more in Atlanta and their franchise, really. And I know Ibby's going to hate on me for this. I'm not trying to take the Jeff Passan approach, but it is still the Mets and the Braves. There's no quitting the Braves. That's a really good roster. Matt Olson hasn't really gotten going for them. If he turns it around, things could get really interesting down the stretch, which they already are, right? The Mets squandered an already big division lead, but they do get some guys back. Very interested in that. Whoever doesn't win that division
is going to be a wild card.
Is going to be one of the wild cards. So I'm going to, for argument's sake, I'm not going to pick the Mets because, I really do like Atlanta more. Mets are the first wild card. I feel like the Giants are going to overtake San Diego. They proved to me last year that they couldn't withstand the final stretch run, and the Giants, they have that championship medal. They're a proven team. They're a playoff contender almost year in, year out. So I'll put them over San Diego. And then the final wild card would probably be the Cardinals if I have Milwaukee winning, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's a fair assessment for the NL.
Definitely fair. All right, so gun to your head. Second half starts tonight. Who's playing in the World Series?
Yankees and the Dodgers.
So the chalk, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, we're getting a Subway Series. That's happening. It's happening this year. The writing's on the wall. Both teams are playing well. The Yankees are obviously playing.
I hope so. I would fucking love it.
See, there's that shit again. There's that stuff where you're like, oh, I won Boston last year, and then we get smoked.
Because I hoped that they play the Mets. Now, if they play the Mets, they're probably going to lose because I hoped it.
See? Now he's starting to get it. At least he gets it now.
If I had that type of power over the world, bro, things would be a lot different.
Astros are a pest as well. Shout out John Leguizamo. But like they're just gonna be in your face the entire time. But I do like the Yankees. I like the Mets because when the Mets get to the playoffs and you know that they're gonna get there anyway, regardless of either a wild card and or division winner. The Mets are getting there, right? They're getting to October. Imagine when you gotta just go head up with another team, no matter who it is, and it's Scherzer, deGrom, Bassett, and company, right? So I love their rotation in the playoffs. Like they're gonna have their best weapons ready to rock. I said ready to rock like 54 times today, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. We're getting a Subway Series in 2022. Make it happen. Individual performances here.
Oh, man. Max Scherzer's going to eat Garrett Cole's lunch in game 1. I hope they pitch deGrom that day.
Yeah.
Just for intimidation purposes.
Yeah. Well,
Garrett Cole's will be like, I don't want to pitch against Max.
Scoob, I don't want to pitch anymore. Anyway, so let's go.
Then you're gonna take Chris Bassett's mask off, and it's gonna be Scherzer on game 3.
If it wasn't for you pesky kids. NL MVP is why I wanted to bring this guy up because of the Cardinals. Goldschmidt's going to win MVP over there, I think. He's been having a phenomenal year. I monitor him closely. He's on my fantasy team, so I see him every day, his stat line every day. This guy is knocking the snot out of the ball. I love this guy to win MVP. And then flipping it on the other side, right now, you would say, unfortunately, according to this, VegasInsider.com, Shohei Ohtani is still the betting favorite. But give me Judge, man. He's on pace. He can hit 60 home runs this year, guys. 60. Not according to ESPN because he has 0. But other than that, like 60 home runs, maybe plus
I hate
for
to
Aaron
break it
Judge.
to you, but Shohei's going to win the next like 13 MVPs.
Oh, okay.
Because they're just like, it's going to be hard to say no because he's going to do something every year that nobody's ever done. And look, he is lighting it up. He might even be in contention if it wasn't for Verlander for Cy Young, the way he's been pitching the last 2 months, month and a half, 2 months. So I'm not going to argue with Shohei not being MVP. You know, I tried to be one of those guys going into the season that had as much bad stuff I could possibly say about the guy who's hard to dislike. But I'm just trying to look at it from a perspective of, all right, let's pump the brakes. But, you know, really, what could you say at this point? He's like a top 3 pitcher in the AL, and he's hitting bombs too. But his batting average is way down and things like that.
So is everybody on the Yankees, according to Jimmy Palumbo, getting involved here.
Judge's average.
He's in the 3s.
Fine,
He's in the 3s. As long as he's in the 3s,
it's either
I'm good.
Judge or Shohei. But if Shohei continues to play the way he's been playing, while Judge doesn't have these like otherworldly numbers, because it's a lot easier for Judge to go on a slump, especially with the strikes.
And he has. He's actually in one right now, apparently. Fun times. All right, so you have Cy Young's. I got Verlander, and I got Max Fried. I know he's not the odds-on favorite right now, but I think the Braves, they'll be in the conversation to win the NL East. They'll go with the Mets because of Fried. I think that's one guy that's gonna keep going, keep on keeping on. That's where I'm at there. So Cy Young's. Are you on the Verlander train? Actually, betting favorite right now in the AL is not Verlander, folks. It is Shane McClanahan. So he's the odds-on favorite right now, which I find a little.
I don't buy that for a fucking split second.
I don't.
If that's the case, then bet Verlander.
Right, because you're getting better.
At the same time, I mean, he is killing it. But all those things that I talked about, the stats that I talked about, he's first in everything.
But if like you weren't paying attention to baseball, like within past 4 years, you would have thought Verlander was out of the league, right?
No, because the Astros have been good, and he wasn't pitching nearly as good as he is now. But like I mean, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was out of the league, but maybe because I watch baseball.
And I hate
that's baseball, Susan. All right, well, we got some Cy Youngs, we got some World Series, we got some MVPs. This is our second half predictions.
I want to talk about